I just wanted to say, it's been really alarming to me the disconnect I've seen between the two sides on this. On the conservative side, I see a lot of people getting mad at the rioters, making fun of them, things like that. On the rioter side, or on the minority side, or the liberal side, seeing a lot of people really upset with police brutality. They feel like they're being targeted. Um, I just want to say that I understand that you feel like you're being targeted. I agree. It seems that way. Police are becoming much too militarized. There's way too many instances of police brutality, and we need to do something about it immediately. If you want to follow the lead of Martin Luther King and people like him, have peaceful marches, peaceful protests, speak-ins, I'll be there right alongside you, arm in arm. If you want to have social media activism, if you want to bring these things to people's attention, I'll be there with you. Um, if you want to go into rioting, looting, burning, killing, beating, that's not going to do any good. It's just going to inflame more racial tension. It's going to make the police more up in arms, more on guard and fearful for their lives, and then they'll in turn treat you worse. And I'm not going to be there to support you on that. I think the way this needs to change is we get together and we need to have good discussions of what we need to do, how we stop the militarization of police. Why do they have armored personnel carriers? They should all be sent back immediately. I can't think of a real reason why. Do they really need to come out in full riot gear all the time? Probably not. I think we need to change the protocols. The policemen who've done these acts, strangling the man in New York, shooting the man, I think, somewhere in South or North Carolina a few weeks ago in the back, this incident in Baltimore, these cops need to be tried just like any normal person would be. They shouldn't get any special privilege. They should probably be held to an even higher standard. I support that. I'm with you on that. And I think most conservatives would be as well. I think this is a bad enough issue throughout the country, and both sides are worried enough about it. This is something we can and should work together on, but we need to do it in a peaceful way. If we use violence, it's not going to work. It's just going to make things worse. So, I mean, that's all I wanted to say, is just to all the people who feel like they're being attacked, who feel that police are too brutal or unfair, I'm with you. But we need to do it the smart way.
I 100% agree with everything you just said. Everybody else want to chime in? They're all muted.
I think you got it. I think Ryan got it there. I mean, I think that there are reasons to have some militarized police, but not all day, every day, not all the time. Not something that you can get done in 2.5 seconds. Have a centralized location. If you need to have the state police guys come in and take care of a really, really bad situation, great. But we've certainly talked about that a lot.
Yeah, and it's like with so many issues, it's not 0 or 100. It's somewhere in the 50 range. And with the over militarization of police and the police brutality, that needs to be drawn way back, because there are very real instances of police brutality, and there are very real instances of police administrative support for brutal cops, and there is a problem, and it needs to be addressed. It's not as bad as some people say. It's not as nothing as other people say. It does exist, and it does need to be solved, but rioting and looting is the most counterproductive way to achieve your goals.
Well, and I think everybody, obviously categorically on our side would agree with that. But what we can take away from this is that where we have openings like the militarization of police, where we have questions about the justice system and how it works for different people, that we need to be better informed and educated about it so that we can talk to people. We're not going to be able to reach people who are intent on destroying things to destroy. But there are people in those threads that I watch and in those feeds that I watch who are reachable and with whom you can have a conversation and with whom you can find common cause on the fact that some things need to change, and they need to change pretty rapidly, and there needs to be reform. And you can have those conversations, and then who knows down the line how many more opportunities you'll have to talk to that person, because you didn't just greet them with a meme that made fun or insulted or downplayed what they're feeling.
Right. And one of the things that I saw later this evening is a quote from Mike Rowe, who is always beneficial in these kinds of instances. Look for the helpers. In any instance, in an instance like the devastation in Nepal, where the videos and the pictures that you're seeing are just absolutely horrible, there are helpers in that picture, maybe in the background, because maybe the news wants, if it bleeds, it leads, and the news wants the fires. But in every situation, in Ferguson, in Baltimore, there are helpers there. In Baltimore, the looters and the rioters were there last night, but when the sun rose this morning, the helpers were there, and they brought their brooms, and there were people who came out to take pictures and realized, instead of taking pictures, I really need to be helping, and so she put away her camera and she got a broom. And that's what we need to focus on. Those are the people we need to lift up and make stars of those people.
The point of the statement was, and this is how she should have said it, we attempted to make as much room as possible for people who wanted to express their First Amendment rights and have their protest rights respected. Unfortunately, what happened in the doing so is that we also made room inadvertently for people to destroy things.